でかい穴が開くぞ。
Yumiko Imagawa, alias Hibana, is a Japanese agent that belongs to the Special Assault Team. She was born in 1983, is 1.73 m, and weighs 57 kilograms. She also wears a very distinctive hood that she never takes off, that very much looks like the one Ezio wears in Assassin's Creed. Hibana is an attacker, and more specifically plays a support role, at least at the beginning of each round. She's also considered a heart breacher, that is that her ability is able to pierce through reinforced walls and hatches. Hibana is a free speed operator, which is the fastest in the game and the same as the all-powerful Ash, Bandit or Jaeger. However, she's light armor. Those two attributes makes her very mobile but with very little resistance to bullets, so move swiftly and shoot first. As a general sense, and just as you will discover throughout this guide, her ability is almost always crucial, so you will need to wait for others to clear the area, so then you can enter the battle. Hibana is a heart breacher, but can pierce reinforced walls and hatches. To do so, she's equipped with a unique gadget called the KAIROS launcher. Her gadget is a projectile launcher that fires a single cluster of 6 KAIROS in the form of ninja stars or spinners that deploys on the reinforced walls or hatch that we would like to open. She has a total of 6 KAIROS and a total of 3 shots. Once the KAIROS adhere to the breakable surface, they can be activated by pressing the fire key. They become bright red, such as fire thermal, and that will pierce through the surface and create an opening. Depending on the amount of KAIROS detonated successfully, the opening will be more or less bigger. So for hatches, you'll need one cluster of 4 out of 6 KAIROS for it to open. If less than 4 are detonated, the hatch will not fully open, but you'll still be able to peek through. For reinforced walls, with 1 KAIROS charge, you'll be able to make a hole about the size of a window. However, you will not be able to go through that window. For this, you need at least 2 successful charges detonated, and then you'll be able to jump over it, or crouch and go through depending on the height of the opening. Now if you use all 3 charges, then you can go through without jumping or crouching, and our friend Montaigne will really appreciate it. Although this is a better job for our friend Thermite. Hibana has some counters. Her ability is not foolproof, and there are various enemy gadgets that can cancel it. Our first enemy are Bandit Shockwire. They can destroy the KAIROS pellet regardless of whether they've been activated or not. If the wall was electrified, for example, or in the process during the trigger, they will all be destroyed. Then also Mute Signal Disruptor will not destroy the pellet, but it will prevent them from being detonated if they are in its radius. Therefore Mute is another main counter. And also opening a wall with KAIROS is not a quick process. And besides those 2 operators, we need to take into account other actions, such as an impact grenade. Shooting the KAIROS will also destroy them, same as using Maestro's Evil Eyes. However, we don't need to worry about Jaeger's ADS. Rainbow Six is a game that you play as a team, and as such, and mostly based on all the counters that Hibana has, she needs to be surrounded with good friends to be successful at using her ability. Thatcher is best friend with many operators, but as Hibana, I would have him on speed dial, so he can quickly come for any upcoming attack. His EMP grenades will neutralize any of Hibana's counters, such as destroying Bandit Shockwire, mute signal disruptor, and will also make it so we can open the walls without a problem. Just like Thatcher, Twitch can also eliminate shock wire and signal disruptors thanks to her shock drones. However, her drones will need to be exposed to perform such operation due to their limited distance. It is therefore slightly more risky than EMP grenades, but can be very helpful. Mavericks, aka Charmander Preaching Torch, can also be used to destroy batteries and inhibitor by creating small breaches at the bottom of reinforced walls or by creating small holes on hatches and then used to shoot the inhibitors. However, he will be the operator that will need to expose himself the most to help us, since he needs to directly perform the short-range attack. Ash or Sophia's actions are more indirect, but they can also serve to open vertical breaches on certain maps to clean out inhibitors and neutralize the well-known bandit trick. This trick can also be avoided by opening at the same time with Thermite, and in this case, bandit cannot be tricking both charges. In the end, anything that can help destroy dispositives that prevent us from opening reinforced walls will be of help, including abilities and grenades from Buck or Sledge. So now it's time to analyze Hibana's loadout. She has a Type 89 assault rifle and a Supernova shotgun as a primary, and a P229 handgun and a Bearing 9 SMG as a secondary. Let's dig into more details. The Type 89 is an assault rifle, but also fires 3-round burst or semi-auto. Its rate of fire is at 150 RPM, which is pretty fast, with decent damage and an easy-to-control recoil at all distances. What is more difficult is a small magazine size of 20+1 bullets. This rifle offers 40 weapon damage from 0 to 25 meter and 25 weapon damage from 35 meter or more. If we add on a silencer to hide where the shots are coming from, the suppressed damage will decrease to 37 and 21 respectively. Those numbers are also only applicable to level 1 armor operators, such as Jaeger, Bandit or Ela, and will be less for higher armor operators. However, with a headshot, no armor will save you. There are 4 barrel types available for this assault rifle: the Suppressor, the Flash Hinder, the Compensator, and the Muzzle Brake. The Suppressor will muffle some of the sounds when shooting and hide the origin of the shots fired, but it will lower the weapon damage. Here is a recoil pattern without controlling the rifle, with vertical grip and an automatic. The Flash Hinder reduces the rifle's visible signature and also reduces the recoil for burst damage. The Compensator reduces the recoil when an automatic, and we obtain both types of patterns. Lastly, the Muzzle Brake, which reduces the recoil in semi-auto, has these patterns. There are 2 grips available, vertical and angled. With the first one, we reduce the recoil, and with the second one, while the recoil is not as reduced, it will take less time to aim. The last accessory is a laser, which offers less recoil when hip firing, but can also show off your position. Combining one of the 4 available sights with a grip and a specific barrel is exclusively a personal choice, so try them out and pick the one that fits your playstyle. Let's move on to the Supernova shotgun guide. It has the slowest pump action mechanism for the whole game, but retains the power of a British SAS M5901A, most commonly used by Smoke. It offers a magazine size of 6+1, and as far as damage, let's play around with it to see the results. The first shot will be short distance from the hip. What do you think will happen? Then mid distance. Long range, it will do 18 damage to Ela, for example, and while aiming, we take another 7. At mid-range, on a 3 armor operator, it will do 48 damage. If we were to add a laser, the weapon dispersion will be reduced. It is clear that this is one of the strongest pump action shotguns of the game. However, picking this type of weapon is a very risky move, since it's not very versatile in the gameplay. Let's continue with Hibana's secondary weapons. The machine pistol Bearing 9 is without a doubt the most used secondary weapon of the game, along with the SAS SMG-11. However, since one of the latest patch, the recoil has been very difficult to control, and here is a pattern with Compensator. It has a high rate of fire of 1100 RPM and a 25+1 magazine size, which is rather large for an SMG. It also has 2 fire modes, automatic and semi-auto. The damage is around 33 from 0 to 18 meters and 22 for 28 plus meters. With Suppressor, it's 28 and 19 respectively. Even though using this SMG is still very much viable, it's not as strong and used as it used to be, and in some cases it was actually used as a primary weapon. Lastly, her other secondary is a semi-automatic P229 handgun. It does 50 damage from 0 to 12 meters and 28 from 22 plus meters. With Suppressor, it goes down to 42 and 24 respectively. It has a pretty good rate of fire of 550 RPM and a magazine size of 12+1 bullets. It used to be a pretty easy choice to pick which secondary weapon to use. With a large magazine size, controllable recoil, and an automatic fire, the Berry 9 was the best option for short and mid-range, while using her primary assault rifle with ACOG for long range and for specific pixels. However, with the current recoil, it's not a bad idea to choose a handgun. Aside from her weapons, Hibana also has free stun grenades and free breaching charges. Which to choose from depends on your gameplay and personal choice. Let's talk about some tips and tricks. Never go in first. Your ability is too valuable to be the first one to die. There are other operators with a less essential ability that can be entry fragger, such as Ash, Capitao, and Sophia. Drone during the first seconds of each round so you can help clean up and get more information when using your KAIROS. Your KAIROS can be detonated at a distance, therefore do not expose yourself when opening hatches or holes in the wall. Once you have used your ability successfully or not, then you can entry frag, since you have the potential to do it with a high rate of fire and flash grenades. If there is a thermite in the team, let him open up the reinforced walls, and you can take care of the hatches or Mira mirrors, unless you would like to open a hole to pick or cover. Let's check out some interesting spots on maps so we can be clever and securely open reinforced wall and hatches. So let's start with Club. The best option to open the kitchen hatch is to rappel on the exterior window, go upside down, open the window, and then open the hatch. That way, we will not be exposed to potential pulse C4 from below. Thermite is not that lucky. In Consulate, we can open the bathroom hatch from the outside if Ash can open both walls that communicate the bathroom, so our KAIROS can reach. When the hatch is open, we can then aim straight down at the column, which is a very typical hiding spot for defenders. Let's go to bank now. In order to open the hatch in main without any risk, we can rappel from the window outside of main entrance, and with a little bit of aim, we can make it so our KAIROS can reach the hatch and open it. In Chalet, we can open hatches from main and bar without too much risk. For main, we need to rappel up on the main balcony, go upside down, open the window, and get at least 4 KAIROS on the hatch to open it. To open bar, we again will need Ash help by destroying the wall next to the fireplace, so that we can also fire the KAIROS from the window. Let's go to Villa. Here, more than talking about the single spot, we will demonstrate an alternative attack on one of the spots. Usually, we concentrate on opening both the Mira windows in Aviator and Game Room. It is a little complicated, and we need to be exposed to do so, since the defender can peek through the Mira windows, Aviator door, and the hallway. A better option is to rappel from the exterior window that has access to the hallway and create breaches to cover on-site rotations by defenders. Let's check out some tricks. The elevator is a Spanish classic, since one tries to United use it first. It consists of firing a charge on a hatch close to sight and have everyone fall in and pray that everything will be okay. Remember that the KAIROS hurts when detonating too close, so use only 4 when opening the hatch. 1 charge, 1 entry. With only 1 KAIROS charge, we can open a breach in a wall and go through. Align the breach in march with the floor and check where the white dot is, since this is the mark of where to open. Change the weapon, fire once, and that mark indicates the height of where to fire the charge. So then go back to your gadget, Align the red line with a dot and fire the charge. Then you'll be able to go through free crouching with only one charge. Another trick is Mira window opening. The best way to open a mirror is to fire the KAIROS by aiming just over the mirror and detonate it. That way, you will not only open the mirror, but also open the reinforced wall. Let's talk about Depth's line of sight. We do not always need to use our ability for breaching purposes. Sometimes, just creating a small line of sight opening with a KAIROS let us have a great line of fire. So we just saw how Hibana is really versatile and useful. Her ability is practically essential on many different maps and situations, and her rifle is one of the best in the game. Moreover, according to some of the latest Ubisoft strats, she's one of the most pick attackers with more than an 80% pick rate globally. Because of this, she's a tier 1 operator. Before finishing up this guide, let's see what some of the most experienced players think about her. Let's talk about Hibana today. She's an operator that really changed Rainbow Six gameplay, mostly due to the fact that we used to have only one hard breacher, Thermite. And then Ubisoft decided to add another one, but it's not only a hard breacher, but also as soon as she's done with her hard breaching role, she can be an entry fragger with free speed, just like Ash. I think this is the most important basic idea to know about her.
Hola chicos! Yo soy Sloppy.
Hey guys, I'm Sloppy.
Hoy estoy aquí
I'm
para
here to
hablar de
discuss
Hibana.
Hibana. She's an operator that I really like from her beauty, agility, and ability. She's very often used in competitive. My team and I really value her a lot. And we have won many games thanks to her. I recommend that if you want to be as good as I am, you need to love her.
Adiós chicos.
Hibana is possibly the most used DLC operator. Her rifle has a really high rate of fire, but less ammo. Her secondary used to be really good until just a little while ago. Her real strength to be able to open hatches, since on many maps, Thermite is used to open walls, and Hibana to open hatches. Before she came out, the game was more about protect the VIP, which was Thermite, to be able to get to site, and this really changed with her in the game. She's a tier 1 operator, one of the most used, and one that can be combined with Thermite to create total chaos for defense.
Que se podía combinar con el termita para crear el caos total en las defensas.
Bueno, Hibana llega como un...
Hibana came as a breath of fresh air in the operator pool. At the time, Thermite was the only hard breacher, and you needed to be against the wall to be able to open it. With Hibana, it can be done from a distance thanks to her KAIROS. They can be used to open hatches, small holes to shoot from, and it really hurts the defense. Once you do all this, you still have the bearing SMG that completes her lethal kit. Since she was introduced, her pick rate really went up while Thermites went down, and then created an essential Rainbow Six operator.
Muchísimo, ha bajado también el de termita y creo que ha sido un personaje totalmente determinante en la escena de Rainbow Six.
¿Considera Hibana el primer game breaker del
I
juego?
consider Hibana as a game breaker for Rainbow Six, an operator that was solely designed to change gameplay. Before, Thermite was the only one able to open reinforced walls, and this changed when Hibana joined. And you also now do not need to be against the wall to open it, since they can be fired from a distance, and it made some attacks much easier. Also, her weapon set made her one of the best tier 1 operator, even though she has a low amount of ammo, but her secondary, the SMG, made up for it as one of the best in Rainbow Six.
Por uno de los subfusiles secundarios que mejor resultado han dado durante todos estos años de Rainbow Six.
Now, it is really the end of Hibana's guide. Thanks to everyone who has helped in making this possible, and to you for watching the video. Remember that you can see me every day live and follow me on Twitter. See you soon!